you doing, YouTube? Matt with Massive Beer Reviews, back with yet another review. And in Russian Imperial Stout time in a form of Bell's Expedition Stout. I'm really excited to do this review for one specific reason. I never had this beer before, up until that I can remember, because I have no idea what I've had over the years. But anyway, never had it before, never reviewed it before, and a couple days ago, a friend of mine who was at Kalamazoo Beer Week last year ended up bringing home a bunch of aged stuff, and one of the beers he brought back was an aged Expedition Stout. We reviewed it, and it was 2007 to 2015, so it was a 8-year-old beer, and it was absolutely fantastic. That age treated it so well. And after having that aged one, I said I need to find a fresh bottle of this to kind of do a comparison thing, since the taste is fresh in my mind. And lo and behold, doesn't really get, you can find it, but it doesn't get a ton of distribution in my area. It's not hard to find, but it's not easy to find. But I would just randomly walk into a place and they had singles, and they went, hey, perfect, there you go. And it's about, I guess, as fresh as I could get, because it says October 2014. I assume it comes out relatively whatever, regularly. I don't know if it's a seasonal thing. If it is, then I'm lucky, because it's only a couple months old, this being the beginning of 2015. So there you go. So this is kind of like a follow-up review of that aged one. As far as what it says on his bottle, same exact as the other one. Expedition Stout, Bell's Expedition Stout, brewed and bottled by Bell's Brewery Company, Comstock, Michigan. On the back, here's a beer that thirsts for travel, holding up impressively under the rigors of any journey. At the same time, it's perfectly intent to sit quietly in your cellar, aging and improving while you wait for the moment that seems perfectly appropriate for its consumption. 10.5% alcohol by volume, and it is, like I said, October 23rd, 2014 is when it was packaged. I don't think it's a Best Buy. I think that was a package. It says packaged, and I assume that's it. So there you go. So we're going to find out. Yeah. So label-wise, it's cool. If you watch the other review, kind of say it's, you know, one of the better Bell's labels I've seen. How about it? I'm just hoping. I hope this one is just as good as the other one. The other one was so good. It was kind of gritty and dirty and filthy. I called it slutty, and people were like, how can a beer be slutty? And I'm like, well, that beer is slutty. So there we go. Oh, man. Still as dark as it was before. Good God. That is a dark beer. Let's see. Are we going to push the limits? Nah. It's not going to come close. So there you go. Decent yeast cake in the bottom. Big head. Threw it in there. Didn't really mess around too much with getting it in there. But, I mean, that is a nice, beautiful, dark head. Infinitely uniform bubbles from bottom to top. And a absolutely breathtakingly beautiful creamy top to it. And like I probably said in the previous review, I'm sure I'd try to get some color out of this if I tried, but I'm not going to. So it's dark, and it looks like an Imperial Stout. Fight through this head a little bit and see if we can get a nose. What I remember, it's a bit more roasted malt in this one. The other one, I believe I went really big on chocolate and roasted malts. But in this one, it's more roasted malt, bit of coffee, and that chocolate's there, but the other one seemed like roasted malt, boom, chocolate, roasted malt, coffee were really huge. The roasted malt seemed to be the leader in the clubhouse with this fresher version. So yeah, I mean, it smells really nice, but that aged one kind of, you know, turned me on pretty hard, so I'm kind of wanting that, and I know I'm not going to get it because 8 years is a long freaking time. So, I mean, it smells like a nice Russian Imperial Stout. Like I said, no real big hop presence, which is big for me with my Russian Imperial Stouts. There's hop-forward ones and there's non-hop-forward ones. I like the non-hop-forward ones, which is kind of odd because Bell's usually does go pretty overboard with their hop, how they hop their beers. So, but yeah, roasted malts, coffee, chocolate. Not as big as the old one, but they're there. So, smells the part. A bit more chocolate now, and she looks the part. Let's see if she tastes the part. Cheers. That's nice. That's nice. The hop presence is there. It's a bit. It does have a bit of a piney hop bite on it. Age took care of that with the older one, but it's in this one. Not a huge fan of that with my Russian Imperials, but as I said in my other review, it definitely dissipates with age. Typically, that's a trait of most hop forward stuff. So this is definitely a Russian Imperial I personally would want to age. The aged version had a bit of almost like funky grittiness going on, to the point where you could actually see on the side of the glass, it had like almost bits and pieces of particles of grittiness to it. This is way smoother. There's a nice mouthfeel to it, not as nearly as dense as the aged version, but it's a bit smoother and not as slutty, like I said, not as gritty. Like I said, the mouthfeel is nice. And that roasted malt is there. The coffee is there. The chocolate, not so much. And that's kind of what I was big into on the other one. But they all, for me, are being outshone by that piney hop. And for me, not a big fan of that. So yeah, it's a nice beer. Just kind of like a little bit of skew for me. Which just goes to show you what age does to a beer. So, rating wise, I would give this an 84. If memory serves me correctly, the aged one, the 8-year-old aged one that I had the other day, I think I gave it a 94. So, I mean, you're talking about a 10-point swing. That's quite a swing on a beer. So, just goes to show you what age does again. So, I give it 84 overall. Excuse me. Value and availability. Like I said, I can get it, but it's not super readily available in my area. So I give it an availability of a 5. In value, I forgot how much I paid for this. It wasn't that expensive. I believe I paid like $3 for a single, and that's not too shabby. So $3 for a single. I would, on a value scale, especially how it ages, I'll give it a value of a 6. It's a beer I'm definitely going to pick up a bunch of, throw it in my cellar and let it sit, because good God, that aged one was delicious. Fresh, not my cup of tea. If you are in that hop forward category for your Russian Imperial Stouts, I don't know why you would be, because that's just retarded. But if you are, you like your old Rasputins, beers like that tend to be Russian Imperials with a bit of hop bite to them. This is for you. Booze-wise, there's zero booze there whatsoever, so it's nice drinkability, decent body. It's just that hop bite kind of overpowers it for me. So, but if that's your thing, this is your candidate. So, yeah, there you go. Bell's Expedition Stout. For you malt heads that do not like your hop forward Russian Imperials, I suggest getting a 6 or 12 or a case of this and throw it in your basement and let it sit for 5 to 10 years, because this sucker ages like a maniac. So there you go. Another review in the books. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. If you did or you didn't, or somewhere in between, please leave a comment in the comment section below. If you'd like to check us out anywhere else on the internet, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Untapped, Massive Beers in all 4 of those places. And yeah, another review down. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. Hopefully you're enjoying a nice aged Russian Imperial Stout right now. And hopefully see you next time. Cheers.